Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen, to Code A. This is the semifinals. I am Moltrap. He is Wolf. And we're going to be casting the semifinals for you today. This is going to be so amazing. I mean, yeah. Code A is so stacked anyway. When you get down to the semifinals of Code A, that's like, it's basically Code S material players playing at that point.
Exactly, and one of them will be in Code S. One of the winners of today will fight for, of course, the chance to be in, you know, the two winners of today are going to battle out. They're going to grab that Code S medallion. They're like one step closer to the top of that mountain. Exactly, and of course, all of these guys are going to go through the up and downs, but nobody wants to have to do that. They just want to get that victory, that Code S medallion, and they're getting so close.
The up and down matches are actually even tougher than they were before. Like, it used to be like, oh, you like got to the top 8 of Code A, sweet. All you have to do is like win a best of 3, and if you don't, you win the next best of 3. And it's like you get 2 chances to win a best of 3. And you're just already basically on top of that stack. In this case, you're just put into a pool of 5 people. And if you don't beat 3 of them, you don't go to Code S. You go back down to Code A.
Now,
and there's a lot more players going down as well.
Yeah,
so
you've got players like Lucira going to the up and down matches.
Yeah, man.
I don't think any of these guys can beat him very easily.
MC is going to be in the... Can you imagine getting in a group with MC and Lucira in your up and down matches?
That would be pretty rough.
Anyway, these are the players battling it out for today. Slayers GanZI versus Slayers TaeJa. We've got a Slayers Terran fight against each other, and then the winner of that is going to be facing the winner of Lenok versus Marine King. So those are the 2 matches we are going to be seeing today, and those are both going to be awesome, man.
Those are going to be awesome. You know what else is awesome is Pepsi. It's so awesome that even though you guys can't see it, I actually just like opened a Pepsi while the camera's up. I'm going to tell you guys the story. And so now I have a little bit of Pepsi on my blazer, but I cleaned it off. It's okay. I'm gonna have to do something after the broadcast about that. But you got that. That's my Pepsi right there. I just opened it.
Do you have a drinking problem, Wolf?
I do have a Pepsi drinking problem. Yeah, I actually drink so much Pepsi.
He really does actually drink. Way too much Pepsi. Anyway, let's check out some highlights coming up to this point.
들어온 곳에서 바로 전투가 한 번에 들어줍니다. 너무 꽉 쪄서 지금 진영 자체가 김동훈 선수가 압도적으로 좋고 업그레이드도 지금 완전히 찍어 눌렀거든요. 녹아버리죠. 자, 지상 병력들만 남은 상황인데 업그레이드 면에서 차이가 많이 나요. 몰아치게 되면 이거 분명히 맞기 힘들거든요. 지금은 생각보다는 일꾼 많이 못 잡았어요. 그렇죠. 처음에는 쉽게 막아찍히는데요. 네, 자, 벤시가 왔고 벤시부터 공격해주고 그렇죠. 잡히죠. 됩니다만 일단 김동훈 선수의 주력 병력이 세트 쪽으로 진출하고 있는 사람의 경기 그칠 수 있고요. 네, 자, 중요한 격 김균. 자, 하지만 감염충을 하지만 토르 때문에 김경원 씨가 해병 맹독주어 벙커가 활용성을 노려봐야 되는데 거의 토르 걸리네 같은데요. 놀고 있지 않습니까? 정말 전멸적인 상계 병력 동산 영망수가 정말 불가능할 정도로 가야되는데 엎어지면 코달거리가 아니라 아예 그냥 이거 관광이랑 지금 유사촌이라는 거죠. 옆집이에요. 바로 공격을 해주고 있는 화영참, 해병, 공성전차, 벤시의 해병 잡아줄 수 있을 것 같고요. 컨트롤 블로킹 하기 때문에 그렇죠. 밀어낼 수 있습니다. 이거 좋아요. 잘 붙었어요. 맹독충은 해병이 다시 한번 공격. 아, 이건 큰데요. 일벌레까지 잡히고 이번에는 6시죠. 야, 일단 해병 살아남았고 앞쪽에 맹독충.
All right.
Well, that was pretty sick,
awesome stuff, man. That was how GanZI here got to this point.
Yeah.
Mowing down nerds left and right. Poor Check Prime.
Yeah, well, that bunker.
I still remember that bunker rush.
Yeah, that was pretty rough.
That was so funny.
It was tough to deal with.
And there's his record coming up to here. He beat Bonbon in the round of 32, beat Fruit Dealer in the round of 16, beat Check to get to the round of 8. So he hasn't faced a Terran yet in Code A.
In fact, I looked up, I believe, GanZI's record, and he hasn't played a Terran versus Terran since, like, it was like several weeks, really.
It was the Super Tournament?
Yeah, the Super Tournament, that's what I thought.
He lost to MMA in the Super Tournament, was his last Terran versus Terran. Here's the thing, though. Actually, let's check out TaeJa's path to the semifinals first.
So what? I don't need that attitude. Can't stop.
아래쪽에 내린 선택. 자, 그리고 이쪽에 이렇게 정면 돌파. 네, 일단 EMP는 거의 직전에 들어가는데 이럴 때 네, 불곰 한두 개 정도는 따로 빼서 집중을 일단 해야 합니다.
제 생각인가요? 자, 내려오고 본대로 빨리 들어가요. 연결체. 그렇죠, 연결체 공격해 주는데요. 자,
이렇게 되면은 EMP 대박인데요. 계속 떨어지고 떨어졌고요.
네, 자, 보호막 다 벗겨졌어요. 지금 있는데
좁은 길목이거든요.
공성도 얼마 안 남았거든요.
이거 생각보다 많은 성과거든요.
그리고 아래쪽에서 자리 잡은 경력들 그대로 앞쪽에 김승현 선수가
해병으로
바이킹 느렸어요. 자, 한 번에 습격을 하는 김승철 선수. 자, 이 형이 되게 직전 타이밍이었는데
공격 타이밍이거든요.
그렇죠.
거기 들어갈 수 있습니다.
그렇죠.
예, 앞서서 화염 차가 끌어고 뒤로 빼야 토끼몰이에요, 토끼몰이.
이거
공성전차 그냥 통통통통통통. 물건 놓아요.
이거 뚫기 어려운데요.
사지죠, 사지.
자, 그리고 박지원 선수 아래쪽에서 공성 버리면서
자, 공성 모드 타이밍이에요.
자,
그렇죠.
자, 일단 추적고요.
저 벙커한 위치 너무 좋아요.
자, 일단 공성도
보내지 못했기 때문에
네.
끝내겠다 생각 같은데 막힐
그렇죠.
것 같은데요.
자, 그대로 밀어붙이고 있는.
하지만 윤영수 선수 이거만 막으면은 오히려 우려선 두 개로 더 많은 것들 명이 지금
도출됐죠. 사이언
왼쪽에 이거 필패인데요. 필패 충분히 이길 수 있다고 판단한 거.
네.
와, 윤영수 선수 너무
And there's the man himself, Slayer's TaeJa, mowing through some nerds. MVP Tails, FXO SC was his last versus Terran, a 2-0 win against SC, and then beating JYP
yeah,
in the round of 8.
JYP game, I was like so impressed that he was able to hold that. It's such a hard all-in to hold on that map. The Blink Stock one, of course, is the one I'm referring to. Now, you saw in his game against FXO SC the death of really bio play in TBT. That's something we've been experiencing a lot. And both these guys are Slayers players, and these Slayers Terrans have really pushed forward this new style, almost more so than any other Terrans right now. So these guys are teammates. They're butting heads here, and it's going to be like the new style against a new style, I think.
Yeah, I was thinking about it. Like, right here, this is like Ken versus Ryu of like Starcraft.
Exactly, man.
They're both Slayers Terrans. Slayers Terrans often play very similarly. They're both kind of in the same situation where they're both kind of up and coming, trying to get into Code S, even though they've succeeded a little bit before in other tournaments and such. So we're going to see, man, Daybreak, Fortress, Crossfire, and then if it comes to it, Dual Sight and Tal'Darim Altar. But of course, Daybreak, the new map, is going to be our first map. TaeJa versus GanZI. Who is going to come out on top, Ken or Ryu? We're going to find out in mere moments.
It's like Scorpion versus Sub-Zero.
That's right, man. There's our shot of our studio. All right, we're going to get into the game here in just a moment. And it's going to be awesome.
All right, let's jump into the game.
All right, down here in the bottom left corner, well, I guess it's not really a corner, but the bottom left portion of Daybreak is our red Terran. Got 4th place in MLG. He is
Slayer's GanZI.
Slayer's GanZI. Slayer's GanZI, by the way, I looked it up. He's 4-9 against Terrans in his career, but here's his opponent on his same team. He's not gone out of the yet.
Slayer's TaeJa.
Slayer's TaeJa. TaeJa has a much better record versus Terran, but here's the thing. Both these guys, you can't really look at like their overall records quite as much because GanZI, even though he lost to MMA in the Super Tournament, that was his last turn versus Terran, just before that, he actually knocked MVP out of the Super Tournament.
Yeah, very true.
So he has the capability of playing some top-level Terran versus Terran.
He really can. And remember, guys, these two are teammates. They have some very similar styles, so that may actually lead them to do something that you wouldn't expect. In fact, right now, GanZI is sending his first SCV into a very unusual location. Now, of course, he did go gas first, so is he going to make his first barracks here by the looks of it?
Yeah.
Looks like he is. So he may be playing some sort of Reaper opening. I can only assume that's what we're going to see.
Yeah. You know, the other thing is that GanZI, he comes from a Brood War background. He was actually a decent Brood War player, and it was a very Brood War style. If you knew you were going mech, you build your barracks in a proxy location, and then when you build your factory, you float your barracks in to do some scouting as well.
That's definitely something you can do.
He might just do that.
That's a very good point. Because in this type of case, I mean, you can make a few Marines before your factory's out, but if you're going gas first, you might as well just make your factory ASAP. Those Marines aren't going to come in too, they're not going to be too handy. Factory being made a little bit faster for TaeJa because that barracks was placed, it took it a little bit longer for him to make that. No, he's actually going to make his factory right here.
Okay,
well, this is not what I expected at all.
Not at all. So I guess at the very least, when TaeJa scouts, if he ever scouts, he's going to get to GanZi's base and be like, wow.
Yeah, and then on top of this, now GanZi's making a reactor at this barracks. So he's going to be basically, by the looks of it, going for reactor Hellions from a very forward location. So he's going to have this very quick reinforcement of these Hellions.
Yeah.
And this can work quite well against someone who doesn't go for reactor Hellions. For example, it looks like TaeJa, he's at his second guess. He's probably going to be going for Cloak Banshees, or he may go for the pre-igniter upgrade, but the pre-igniter upgrade's not going to be finished in time. His opponent's going to have twice as many Hellions as he does.
Interesting.
And look, there's the starport going down, so it looks like it is going to be Banshees.
Yeah, this actually could be really bad if he gets caught with only like a handful of units trying to tech to Banshees and a ton of Hellions come in there. There's not going to be much he can do about it. I mean, even if he gets a Banshee out somehow, it's not going to be able to kill the Hellions fast enough. Oh, look at this. He's actually going to land that in the back.
This is going to be somewhat of a distraction.
Oh, yeah,
you can see it. But this could be somewhat of a distraction if he decides to make Marines there as well. I mean, that's something else he's going to have to deal with on top of everything else. Now, the starport is being made here. He's going to follow this up with Banshees, of course. Now, the first two Hellions are out. They're going to hit one Hellion. Well,
whoa,
that was a little bit weird, but things definitely going the right way for GanZi in this case.
TaeJa! Oh, is he going to land?
Oh,
beautiful! No. Oh, my gosh. I don't know how he saw that coming or if he even did, but a beautiful building movement there to block off his choke just in the nick of time. Basically saves him from all damage that these Hellions can do.
And a Viking actually being made by GanZi right now, because he knows that his opponent is most likely going for Banshee since he sees that factory. In fact, he can even see it being researched. You can see the cloak being researched now, so he makes a Viking first. I really like that. The barracks is under fire by 2 Marines, so whenever the Marines pop out of there, they're going to pretty much immediately die. So that's not doing a ton of damage here. The SBs can come out and repair this, and basically, GanZi's first little move here is just not going to work.
No, and actually in the meantime, that one Hellion of TaeJa is slowly burning down the depot at GanZi's base. So GanZi's on a time limit here. He somehow needs to pull this off before that depot goes down.
Well, something I just noticed, not to cut you off there, something I just noticed actually is that I said he could come and repair it, but actually no, he can't, because if he tries to repair it, the Hellions are going to kill the SCVs. So he actually will eventually break through this barracks. Like you're saying, yeah, TaeJa's on kind of a time limit here.
They're both on the time limit in a way, but that one Hellion is not burning down the depot faster than the several Hellions are burning down the barracks, and the barracks is going to go down, and
there's no answer for these Hellions, man. Here come the Marines going down, and that bunker is not going to finish.
No, and the SCVs are going to go down. If the Banshee tries to reinforce, then the Viking will take it out.
And meanwhile, there is a Banshee, of course, back in the main base of GanZi, but there's already a turret going off, and the Viking has already chased it. It's looking like TaeJa is actually going to lose this first game to a very unique strategy on one of our largest maps.
Very interesting now. The Banshee does cloak. He's going to work on these Hellions slowly and steadily.
Yeah,
but back in GanZi's base, he's trying to get that turret up. The Viking has come back. He scans to get rid of the Banshee. But even if the Banshee goes down, the Hellion is about to get in the front door of GanZi. No, he brought it. No, he didn't bring it back. There's the Hellion. So it's going to be kind of a strange race.
Yeah, I mean, back at the home of TaeJa, actually, he is cleaning up these Hellions. He's putting SCVs inside the bunker to hide them, but that's not really going to work out too well. He's losing a lot of SCVs. And nice control by GanZi.
The Viking of GanZi does clean up the Hellion in his base, so I think GanZi is going to take this.
Yeah, it's looking like it, because the Vikings are going to be able to clean up the Banshee as well. He can keep landing and lifting those Vikings to continue to be annoying.
Yeah, GanZi is rallying more Hellions in. And actually another block there, so it's going to be a little bit longer before he can get in and finish off those last SCVs. So they actually both only have a handful of SCVs right now.
This is very true.
9 and 9.
The reason that GanZi has the lead is because of those Vikings. You have to be very careful with those.
Oh no!
I don't want to lose them like this.
Is this going to be the first time a Banshee kills a Viking? No, it's not.
That was a close call there. And now remember, he doesn't have a barracks that he can use to make Marines, so he can't make any Marines to deal with these Vikings. So the Vikings are basically invincible, and TaeJa's continuing to make his own Banshees again, but he can't make a Viking because the Viking will just be killed instantly. So it looks like TaeJa's just slowly going to die here.
This is really, really strange, and it is just going to be a slow death for TaeJa is what it looks like. Eventually that barracks will go down, and there's a scan. Is that Banshee going to go down? Yeah. Oh! no, barely gets out of range of that scan.
Barracks does fall,
though.
Doesn't
matter. Here comes the last of TaeJa's SCVs.
And that Banshee's about to be out of cloak. And that will be the end of TaeJa, losing to his teammate here in Game 1 on one of our largest maps, a very unexpected strategy. GG.
Wow. So that was kind of interesting. GanZI going for a very interesting strategy, shaking his head. He's like, man, that almost didn't work.
Yeah. Well, the block by the factory was good, but
that was perfect.
What the smartest choice that GanZI made was making a Viking out of the starport.
Yeah.
And then he sent it with his Hellions and he made a second Viking and just blindly sent it home. Well, I gotta send this home because if he sends one Banshee on base, he can kill all my SCVs.
Yeah, that's what he tried to do.
Yep. So, good choices by GanZI. A very risky strategy, but it ended up paying off quite well. And I don't think, you and I didn't really see that coming. We're like,
no.
Well, maybe he's going to do a Reaper opening, or maybe he's just going to use the factory or the barracks to fly in and scout. But
yeah.
no, man.
He's like, no, I'm just going to proxy all my buildings and go for a crazy attack. And very interesting how that played out with the different tech choices and such. And you got to hand it to TaeJa, man. That perfect block, and then going with his own Hellion and the Banshee back to GanZi's base, trying to throw him back to his own base, trying to throw things off. Almost kind of got himself back into that.
Yeah, I mean, it was like the closest call ever with that factory. I mean, he saw the Hellion, he picked it up immediately, he landed it. If he had been just a second later, even half a second later, wouldn't have landed, then he would have lost, like, ridiculously. Would have been just terrible and the saddest thing anyone's ever seen.
If the Hellion had gotten a little bit, it was like literally like 2 or 3 hexes away from blocking that factory.
Yeah, it like almost glitched the game. Like the Hellions almost got crushed and they like blew up.
Brood War style. All right, the next map is going to be Xel'Naga Fortress. TaeJa is going to have to bring it back and get a win here to tie it up. Otherwise, he's going to be down 0-2. GanZI trying to clinch a 2-0 lead. Let's find out what's going to happen.